And we're back on Second Street talking about the issue of paid plasma. There's some debate in this country about whether or not Canadians should be able to donate plasma and then get compensated. So, Peter, before the break, we were talking about this issue and how the need for plasma can be the difference between life and death, as Kate noted, but also regular plasma donations can help people prevent their diseases from getting worse. So it's obviously an important and valuable resource. Can you just tell us about the big picture in this country? How much plasma Canadians need each year versus how much Canadians are actually donating?
Yeah, sure, Colin. Each year we need about 1.4 million liters of plasma, and Canadian Blood Services manages to collect only 17% of that. The remainder of the plasma that Canadian patients depend upon, the medicines that they need, those are made from plasma donations in the United States. Now, Canada is not alone. It's true around the world that either a country allows some form of compensation or remuneration to donors of plasma, or they import medicine made with plasma that is donated in the United States. The United States supplies 65 to 68% of the entire world's plasma used to manufacture therapies like immunoglobulin, right? There's only basically 5 countries in the world that are self-sufficient in plasma for these therapies. That's Germany, Austria, Hungary, the Czech Republic, and of course, the United States. Every other country in the world, to a greater or lesser extent, is reliant on imports from the United States.
So I want to focus on the why. Why is it that Canadians are not rolling up their sleeves often enough to donate plasma, but Americans do?
If that question is for me, Colin, look, a plasma donation is a little bit more arduous than a blood donation. You can donate blood, it'll take you 15 to 20 minutes. You do it once every 56 days. In Canada, you do it 2 or 3 times a year. It's no big deal. Plasma donation, on the other hand, is different. It takes about an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours to donate plasma. You've got a needle in your arm for 45 minutes. People are asked to donate much more often, about once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. So you're talking about a much more significant commitment. And you can ask Canadians to do blood donations for free, and we have more than enough blood for our transfusion purposes. But I think demonstrably it's asking a little bit too much to ask people to roll up their sleeve and give up 2 hours of their day once a week or once every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And especially
So,
when
Peter,
there are a lot of plasma donation centers that are conveniently located either.
so I want to just come back to this point that you raised, though, Peter, about there's 5 nations in the world where they are self-sufficient. I mean, in the United States, people are getting paid, so they have that incentive to roll up their sleeves often and donate plasma. What about the other 4 nations? Are those cases where they allow patients to get or people to get paid for plasma donations?
Yes, that's right. So those are the 5 nations that have policies that allow for either donor compensation or donor remuneration. And they're the only ones that collect enough plasma. Altogether, those 5 nations together are about 84% of the entire world's plasma supply. So all the other countries in the European Union, all of them import therapies made from plasma donated in the United States, but they also rely on their neighbor countries, Germany, Austria, Hungary, and the Czech Republic.
So, Kate, I want to come to you. When you think about Canada, again, big picture, who is it that allows patients to get paid for plasma donations versus who doesn't?
So Canadian Blood Services is not paying the plasma donors, and perhaps they should be, and perhaps that would give us the supply we need. But there are certain companies like Canadian Plasma Resources in Alberta and as well in New Brunswick where they do compensate plasma donors, and they are collecting more plasma.
So is it just the 2 provinces then where Canadians can roll up their sleeves and get paid for donating?
Well, the Voluntary Blood Donations Act makes it so that the provinces where you cannot be paid are BC and Ontario. And the issue is that besides Quebec, they are some of the most populous provinces. So it's really limiting the donor pool.
When we come back, we're going to talk about this issue further, including what needs to change. We'll be back in just a moment.